Pinky here is just about dry. I reckon I've got about one more milking left to do on her, and she is about 3 weeks pregnant as well. So we are getting to the point now where she's finished milking until she has babies, hopefully in June. But over the past few months we've had lots and lots of milk, and we have been making lots of cheese, and sometimes that comes out really well, but occasionally it doesn't actually turn out as we want it to. So the cheese that we've made that hasn't quite worked still needs to be used, because we're not going to throw it out. So back in the kitchen we're going to show you how we use some of that cheese to make a flan, but before we do that I'm going to show you our quails. At the moment we have about 28 quail, and as it's now winter they are no longer laying. Although that said, one of them has occasionally popped out an egg over the past few weeks, but I think she's more or less stopped doing that now. We had quite a successful year last year with egg production from the quail, and in fact in August last year we had so many that we didn't quite get them all to market, so there comes a point where you can't sell them anymore. But quail eggs have quite a thick membrane underneath the shell, and they therefore last a long time, and we've still got some of them to use up, and we recently combined some of those eggs, quail eggs, with the cheese that didn't quite work to make a set of flans. First job to do back in the kitchen is to make some short crust pastry and then line your flan dishes with it. I've made 4 of these. Now these are some of our quail eggs, and what you need to do is hard boil them only for about 2 minutes, and here's some I prepared earlier, and I'm going to put these into the flan dishes. Next job is chop a couple of onions and put them in a mixing bowl, and then you will need to add in 5 large eggs. These are duck eggs that were laid in the summer, and because we had an enormous glut at the time I simply beat them up and put them into the freezer, but we need the freezer space now, so they have to go into the flan, into the dish with the onions. And this is the cheese that we made, the last cheese that we made. It didn't quite work because, as you can see, it's all rather crumbly, and that goat cheese is going to be used to go into the filling as well. And finally I'm going to add in about 400 ml of our goat's milk, and then just make sure it's all mixed up together. Then add the filling to the flan dishes, and heat your oven up to 180 degrees centigrade and pop them inside. They've actually had 35 minutes in the oven now, and they're nearly ready, not quite, but nearly ready. But what we're going to do is we're going to close up the oven again and just turn off the heat and let them bake in the residual heat of the oven to finish them off. Well, the flans have been sitting in the oven for about 3 hours cooling down, so here goes. Ooh, got a quail egg here. This is my lunch sorted for a couple of days.